Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands, and for this video I was going to go through my top 10 favourite horror films that are set in the woods, and I thought it would be cool to do it here on location in the woods. So at number 10 is Cabin in the Woods, and this is a film that seems to divide people. I really like it, but my dad, for example, he really doesn't like it, but I enjoyed it for like a simple cabin in the woods type film, and also for like the twist ending, which I won't get into, but I thought that was really amazing. I'd like to see that explored a bit more, because I think there's a lot more they could do with that. So it'd be nice to see some sequels to this, which I don't usually like to see sequels to films that I really like, but yeah, this one I really enjoyed. So number 10 is Cabin in the Woods. Number 9, we go to a different cabin, and it's Cabin Fever. Again, this one I thought was really good. The first time I saw it, and you see that girl whose face is missing, really creeped me out. I thought that was really effective, and it's kind of a scary concept anyway, sort of virus and contagion. It's pretty creepy stuff, and thought it was done really well in this film. So yeah, number 9, Cabin Fever. Number 8 is Grizzly, which is a giant killer bear film. This came out a year after Jaws, and to be honest, it's kind of scene for scene the same film. It just takes place in the woods rather than the ocean, but there's like a big woodland resort where a killer bear is going around killing the tourists, and the mayor type character doesn't want to do anything about it because there's some kind of financially beneficial event coming up, but then after a few kills, he hires like this police guy and a nature expert and a hunter to track down the bear. So yeah, very similar to Jaws, but a very enjoyable film. I really liked it, and I really like the setting of this in like the lush forests and things like that. They use a real bear as well in it, which is cool. So yeah, a film that I've always enjoyed. So number 8, Grizzly. Number 7 is Prophecy, which takes place in a similar kind of setting to Grizzly, sort of lush American forests. And this company is releasing sort of toxic waste which leaks into the river and mutates all the animals. So there's like these mutated creatures and this big mutated bear, and Robert Foxworth is the environmentalist who goes in to check it out and is faced all these mutant creatures. But a really good film, very underrated film in my opinion. I think this one's very well done. It's got some nice practical effects, and again, like Grizzly, some quite nice cinematography in the forest and the woodlands and things like that. So number 7 is Prophecy. Number 6 is the Blair Witch Project, which creeps me out every time I watch it. I recently talked about this on the top 5 movies that scare me video, and got a lot of comments about this from people who saw this and were creeped out by it too. And the woods around here are quite Blair Witchy, which is pretty creepy, pretty cool when you're walking through them. So yeah, one that I've always found very effective in its simplicity, and one of the few films I think that benefits from not showing anything. I do think that works well in this film. So yeah, number 6, Blair Witch. Number 5 is The Howling, which is probably my favourite werewolf movie, along with American Werewolf in London. But in this one, Dee Wallace, she goes to this like woodland retreat to get over this quite traumatic incident, but the people that run this retreat are werewolves, so she's faced with a whole new batch of problems from that. But yeah, one that I really like. Again, really like the woodland setting. She was very effectively in this film. Great practical effects, and yeah, really awesome movie. So number 5 is The Howling. Number 4 is Abomination, which is probably my favourite Bigfoot horror movie. Really enjoyed this one. Some great practical effects of the Bigfoot creature, and Matt McCoy does a great job as the main character in this movie. I thought it was really well done. I've watched this a few times and enjoy it every single time. So number 4 is Abominable. Number 3 is Evil Dead. I actually meant to bring Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is probably my favourite of the franchise, but I just think they put a bit more into that one. But to be honest, Evil Dead 1 and 2 is a very close call. Both are excellent films, and yeah, really enjoy what they do in that film. Kind of like the original Cabin in the Woods movie for me, of like teenagers going into the woods and getting terrorised. So yeah, number 3, Evil Dead / Evil Dead 2. Number 2 is a film that I could have put at number 1, but I don't know, number 1 has to be number 1. But number 2 is The Burning, which is one of my favourite horror movies. A quintessential slasher movie. I love the setting in the woods and at the summer camp and around the lake. I love the killer, I love the look of the killer. I really like his backstory of being set on fire and then coming back to take revenge. The kills in this are awesome, his weapon of choice is fantastic. Yeah, I love everything about this movie, really good. And yeah, number 2, The Burning. Which leads my number 1 favourite horror movie in the woods is, of course, Friday the 13th. And I'm holding up part 3 to represent the series because part 3 is probably my favourite. I'm not sure, it's a close call, but I do really like this one. This one for me, where Jason gets his hockey mask, is really iconic. And yeah, I love pretty much every entry in this series. So not much I can really say about these movies that nobody else has said before. But yeah, my number 1 horror film that takes place in the woods is the Friday the 13th series. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if there's any on the list, any not on the list that should be. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.